This video is going to cover how to fill out what's called an amortization table, which is what we have right here. So the idea is that when you buy a new car or a house, you owe a whole bunch of money at the beginning, and over time you slowly pay it off. However, you have a fixed, generally, interest rate that you have to deal with. And so if you have a fixed rate but a different principal, you're going to have different interest amounts. You're going to owe more interest at the beginning of the loan when you have a really high balance, and you're going to owe less interest near the end of the loan when the balance is almost paid off. However, most consumers don't want to pay different monthly payments based on, a lot early on and lower later on. So they found a way to balance it out. So you pay the same amount each month, but more of it counts for interest at the early part and less of it counts for interest at the later part. So this table tells you how much is going for each one. The way this works is you need to start with 3 things before you can do anything. And usually they'll give them to you in the problem, or you'll have a different part of the problem to calculate these. One of them is you need the beginning balance, the principal amount. Now, for the sake of argument here, we're going to go ahead and assume this is $30,000. Say you're buying a new car here. The second thing that you need to even start the problem is the APR. That's the annual interest rate. And again, for this problem, I'm going to use 6%. It's a little higher than you'd like for a car loan, but it's within reason. And yet, because these are monthly payments and it's compounded monthly, we need to get the monthly interest rate. And so the monthly interest rate is going to be whatever the APR is divided by 12. So that would be 0.5% or 0.005. That's going to be our monthly interest rate here. The last thing that we need is we need the monthly payment. Again, this is something that you would have had to calculate beforehand or may have been given to you in the problem. And for this problem, we're going to assume that it's $450. Once you have the payment, you can actually fill out the entire column here for payment. That is given to you. You can also fill out the first balance here because that's how much you owe before the first payment, right? Payment 0 there. Now, next up, we need to figure out the rest of the table. And you always are going to start with figuring out the interest portion first. And the way that works is you're going to take the previous month's balance and you're going to multiply it by the monthly interest. So in this case here, my previous month's balance was $30,000. The monthly interest rate is 0.005. And if you put that in your calculator, it's $150. So what that means is on that first month, $150 of your payment went to interest. If we then want to figure out how much the principal you paid was, that's going to be whatever was left over. So you had a $450 total payment minus $150 payment for interest. That meant you paid off $300 of your principal. Well, if you paid off $300 of your principal and you previously owed $30,000, you would take $30,000, subtract the amount you just paid off, and that means you now owe $29,700 and 0 cents. At this point, we're just going to repeat the process. So the next step is we're going to calculate the new interest payment, which is the previous month's balance, $29,700, times the monthly interest rate, 0.005. In your calculator, that'll be $148.50. We can go ahead and fill that in up here. Once you have that amount, you can find the principal portion. That's going to be the $450 payment total minus $148.50. That's going to be $301.50. I just want to point out here, notice that after we had made the first payment, the balance was smaller. As a result, we paid a little bit less interest in the second month and a little bit more principal. And it's going to keep on like that until you've paid off your loan fully. Next, we need the new balance, which is the old balance minus the new principal amount. This is going to work out to be $29,398.50. This is something that's really easy for a computer to do. There's a lot of apps and websites that will do this for you. We're just trying to see how it works so that, for example, you could go ahead and double check the calculations done by whatever bank you're getting your loan at. Make sure it's all done correctly. We're going to just repeat this one more step here. So we had the previous balance of $29,398.50, and we find our monthly interest rate here. It's going to be 146 times 99. Put that up here. Then we find out our principal portion, 450 minus 146.99, and that works out to be 303.01. Put that out here. And the final balance then, at least after the third month, would be the previous month's balance minus the new principal amount. It's 29,04095, sorry, 49. And I do want to point out one real quick thing before we finish this video. At this point in time, we've actually made 3 payments, right? We made month 1, month 2, and month 3. This original month up here, it's $450. We didn't actually pay that, right? It's payment 0. It's not actually paid. So we paid 3 months here at $450 each. That's $1,350 we paid. And yet we have not lowered our balance even by $1,000 yet. It went from $30,000 to just a little bit over $29,000. This is just how interest works, and it's something you should always be aware of whenever you buy anything with credit.